worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all.
Yeah.
Meet Joe. He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine if it should automatically accept the trip, decline the trip, or allow Joe to decide by showing the per mile and per minute rates. When a trip has been accepted, Maximo will turn off the other apps that aren't on a trip. Once Joe finishes a trip, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to reduce his stress and frustration, drive safe, and focus on the important tasks. Check out Maximo at www.maximoapp.com.
What's up, everybody? Did you get a sneak peek of our faces? They're flashing in. Welcome to the RiDESHARE Rodeo Roundtable featuring Hannibal. Just kidding.
I like that.
Hit that like on the way in, guys, if you wouldn't mind doing so. Appreciate that. Want to welcome everybody here. We got Kim's Side Money Plans. Got Gary Middleton, GaryZapps.com. Got John Dash Theory TV. And yeah, welcome everybody. And thank you for joining us tonight. We got some interesting topics. Before we jump in, how about that White House?
What happened there?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't.
Dude, the White House found a ton of cocaine, and the Secret Service, the FBI, nobody can figure out where it came from. It's all over the. It's all over the White House. They're partying in the White House.
Like, how do you not figure? Like, how can you not? You just drug test everybody that works there, every single person.
I mean, that is what it would take. I don't know if you guys. I sent it to you guys, the group here. I don't. But he did what he always does. He deleted it the second it was done. But Dark Road Run on his new channel did a White House cocaine party where he had Biden sitting there and Hunter was behind the couch. It was really, and he was playing like some sick guitar. He was like, it was all cocaine oriented music. He's like doing JJ Cale / Clapton's Cocaine. And he's got these flakes coming down everywhere.
How does one smuggle cocaine into the White House, one of the most secure buildings?
How does the Secret Service?
It was cocaine. It was baby powder.
No, that's the thing, dude. If you Google it, there's not even a single, even the trashy news isn't reporting it differently. They're all saying the same story.
No, they said that it was tested as cocaine.
Yeah, it's cocaine.
So, and the thing is, like I was reading up on too, it wasn't even hidden. Like they found it.
That's why I said party, dude.
They found it during a routine
El Chapo size amount. What?
I don't know exactly how much it was, but it was
enough to party, dude.
It was enough that they were walking by doing their routine walking path around the White House and seen it. Like it's not like they had to flip up something or move. I mean, no, they're just walking by. They're like, hey, there's a line of coke over there.
Whether you agree with Gary that everybody should be drug tested, I think it's a great idea. But whether you agree with that or not, this is like our national security. And the Secret Service's official statement was, we don't know where it came from.
That's what I said. How does one smuggle cocaine?
The Secret Service in the White House. That is their domain.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if they can't do that, they can't do anything.
They didn't say they didn't know who it came from. They said they didn't know where it came from.
We all know who brought it there.
It came from outside, but they don't know where it's sourced from. It could be Colombia, it could be Mexico.
He's the son of an important person there who has done this many times in his life, and his name is Hunter.
Is this the first time there's been cocaine in the White House?
No, in fact, I don't know if Gary, you saw some of those articles, but they tried to downplay it, and like some of the NBC articles and stuff, they tried to downplay it by saying, "Hey, this isn't the first time drugs have been in the White House. Willie Nelson smoked a joint and blah 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 with Jimmy Carter." I'm going, dude, this is not the same thing. That's like the president allowing
Snoop Dogg
it.
Smoked weed in a bathroom there.
Yeah, but dude, again though, I think there's a big difference.
Some states now it's illegal, so hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even in DC it's legal, right? I believe.
Is it?
DC,
I don't even know.
In DC it is. I don't know about it in the state of Maryland, but I know specifically.
Right. Right. So, okay. So I'm not saying it should be done. And at the time, Willie Nelson and Jimmy Carter.
Wait. Well, I don't care if it's legal or not. This is federal property. I don't care. Federally, it's illegal everywhere.
I don't care so much if it's weed. I got to tell you, I care that the Secret Service doesn't know where cocaine came from. I mean, they don't. I hope they at least caught. I mean, I'm not trying to get somebody caught, man. But listen, if you're going to work in the West Wing, you should really not do drugs. I'm sorry. I don't want somebody to get caught for doing drugs, but don't do cocaine at the White House and have a job there.
That they found it, but a better question is, why did they even figure out to report it? Who was the nerd that reported it?
I think it was too open a story. Yeah.
It was Secret Service.
Can you imagine if you were the Secret Service agent, you're just doing your normal rounds and you're like, what is that? And
there's a bunch of lines chopped out on the table.
You get closer and you're like, oh crap, I have to report this now.
And the person's putting a sheet
that they found it. It was that somebody found them finding it. They're like, oh, thought we find this, huh? Okay, well, I better report this then.
Well, it was probably two of them walking together, chatting, and then one's like, "Hey, Steve, see that line of cocaine over there?"
Hey, Steve, why Steve?
Why not? You're Secret Service.
Well, you're the one who didn't see it. Remember that, Steve. You're the one hey, do you see that over there? And I know what that is.
Yeah, John is like, Steve, what is that?
Why is that there?
Steve's like, oh, that's cocaine. Man. We have to report that. And John's like, but is it? Is it cocaine? Are we sure?
They're sure. The stories would not be out like they are, guys. I don't know how. I mean, John, I can see, but I mean, if you were to pull up just even NBCnews.com, it's probably right there, even still on the homepage. And it's from a couple days ago.
What's the paperwork on that one if you're the Secret Service agent?
I bet the question is how much they found. Was that really how much they observed?
Also, I'm glad. We fight for transparency on this show all the time, right? I'm glad they were transparent with us, but I hate to be like this, but wouldn't the Secret Service normally hide that?
That's my question.
Not want us to know? I'm just saying. I know we're entering a new era where they're trying to be honest and stuff.
Well, how's that working out for them?
I think though that they have to disclose it, because if not, and it gets out, then I mean that just, especially with upcoming election years and things like that, they have to disclose everything.
Cover up looks.
Yeah, I mean, if it was year one that he was in there, they like sweep that under the rug.
Was it so
literally
bring it out now so that it doesn't come out later and be like,
or it reminds me of what's that car theft show where they got the cocaine at the back and they have the detective start the car and rev up the engine,
like the bait car?
No, babe, you're watching. What's the name of that movie? It's where they're car thieves. Yeah, let me look it up. It's funny because what happens is the detectives show up to the garage and one of the newbies boosts the car that has cocaine in it, and cocaine spills out on the floor. And so it's right there by the muffler. And then they have the detective get in the
60 seconds.
Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds. There we go.
That's not a new movie.
I didn't say new movie.
I thought he said TV show. I'm like,
I know.
Show is this?
I could have said TV show. Yeah, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that's what it's kind of like. They're like, just sweep it under the rug.
Wait a minute. Wait. Thomas, 10 grams. Oops. I mean 1 gram. Are you talking about ounces or are we talking about gram? Because a gram just means somebody brought some into work and they were having a rough day.
Well, 10 grams is,
I mean, I don't know, man. I would think that there's bomb sniffing, drug sniffing, metal detectors, all that stuff at the entrance to the White House. Clearly not. You can do what you want.
Do they have dogs in the White House?
I would think that they do on the lawn and on the way in.
Bombs. Those are for the bombs, not the drugs.
But still, don't they have them on the perimeters that they actually sniff?
But maybe you don't, if you work in the West, let's say you've worked in the West Wing for 5 years, you probably go through a different entrance and you know everybody. And I'm not saying that they make it so that you still have to go through the metal detector and stuff, but maybe you're not going through a dog area. Maybe they're like, dude, at least our employees don't do drugs.
Okay, they do not have any. They do not have any drug sniffing dogs.
Really?
Yeah, they do not. They have bomb. They sniff for explosives.
You know why they probably don't, and I don't mean this mean. It's because of all the different world leaders that come there.
Probably.
And a lot of those would smell like hashish and other things like that.
AC too, and I mean, walking down the street might smell like that.
Which I mean, it's just funny with all these articles coming out that how many people are admitting to doing drugs in the White House.
Right. Even the White House is saying, look, guys, we're really sorry, but we found some cocaine in here. Like, I would have at least catch the person and have them admit it. And I guess still, dude, I'm just not going to trust the Secret Service again.
Marion, apparently they only drug test once. That's on the first interview.
Unless it's somebody who's in the residence and they don't even think to check somebody who actually is residing.
Usually random drug testing isn't that random. It's like, I have a randomly good guess that you're on drugs. That's how it usually goes.
Joe says, no way they drug test them. They're cokeheads. All our politicians are cokeheads.
That is a fact.
There's probably something to that. I mean, I don't know, man.
I mean, I would have thought maybe.
Hopefully we'll learn more of this story because right now it's just funny.
It is.
But now I want the details. I don't know. What is this? Oh, yeah, we should be talking about the gig economy or something.
But this is
somebody was.
Oh, it does affect the economy.
These are the people who will be making the decisions.
Right. They make
if we're classified employees or not.
Maybe our future is looking better and better.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I feel like the supplier is Julie Sue. That's going to be my story. Julie Sue supplies White House with all the cocaine they need.
Maybe it was planted.
But then why would the secret? Nothing makes sense because it wasn't planted on anybody. They didn't make an arrest that means something or like nothing. It just was like, oops, hey, there's cocaine. Like
just a random story. There just happened to be some there.
We're gonna obviously rip into this story big time. I wanted to see if I can I sent these this videos to myself too, but because I wanted to share at least this one with you. So let's talk about this flying car thing that was road approved. First of all, Gary, I know you read it. I don't know if you guys read it, but but this company, I mean, I follow all this stuff. I don't even know if I've heard of these guys. Aleph?
Yeah, you're talking about that weird car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, there's articles everywhere. They came out last week. They're still out this week. CNN was the first to report the Model A. The FAA has confirmed that it has issued a special airworthiness certificate for Aleph's Model A vehicle. And it basically, you guys, is a VTOL too, which is something we joke about all the time. But I mean, there's a lot to this. So it's pre-ordering right now for $300,000. You'll get it by the end of 2025.
When will you be able to drive it and fly it?
Well, see, and this is why I want to show you guys this video because, man, this kind of freaked me out a little bit here. I'm not gonna lie. The guy who runs this company, I don't know how you guys will feel, but we'll see when I pull this up. Let's see if this will download it. I don't want to do that. Oh wait, I can do that, I guess.
And it's
make sure it's the right one.
If the picture is anything like the actual car, it's a weird looking car.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Play it off this tab. Okay, I'm going to share this, and then we'll talk about it a little more because
you're not
this
sharing
is the guy.
23-minute video, are you?
No. I'm just sharing 1 minute or 1.5 minutes of it. I clipped it into two parts because I want you to watch the guy who's running this program because he looks like an evil villain from the worst. From just I can't remember what movie it is, but it's like an evil villain.
Even Scared John.
Even the car looks like it's an evil villain's car.
So here we go.
Look at him.
Oh yeah.
Is that guy from The Matrix?
And then this is the car.
Yeah.
The Batmobile.
But it never moves. Gary, you and I could make this out of cardboard.
Yeah.
3D printer.
Thomas said he got the Coke. Yeah, it's only a 2-seater.
Do they actually show it flying?
No.
Well, then how do we believe that?
Yeah, I don't believe it. If I don't see it fly,
Like the dude looks like a villain though. He legit
like a
does.
boss villain.
It looks like he'd hit you up for ransom.
Oh wait, what was he gonna say?
That's if you guys want to watch it, go to RiDESHARE Rodeo. It's on today's post, or it's on 4th of July's post. It's the top article, and all the articles are related to this flying car. So the Model A has a driving range of 200 miles and a flight range of 110 miles. As a low-speed vehicle, by regulation, it must weigh less than 3,000 pounds and can drive no faster than 25 miles per hour.
What? It's like,
Hold on.
it's like
I bike
speed.
faster than that on a pedal bike.
But can
So-
you get a front of traffic?
Well, see, here's my thing, though. Like Gary was saying, it looked like a drone. Now, okay. So it's stupid. It costs a ton of money. And it's 300 grand. It's only going to do 25 miles an hour on the street. But then I can fly. But where can I fly? I can't just go flying to the neighbor's house.
Well, I want to know, how fast does it go while it's flying?
Who cares, dude? Why? I mean, if it goes 5, dude.
Why
Well,
would you
Well,
get a
like-
vehicle?
I mean, that's important to know. How fast can it actually fly?
But why would you get any vehicle going 25 miles an hour? You'll get like honked nonstop saying, "Why aren't you going faster?"
Why would
Like,
you
wait
get a
to
vehicle? I'm just saying, where can you fly? Like, I'm in Denver. I
Right,
couldn't
yeah.
just go, you know what? There's some traffic. Like, he showed it above the traffic.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you're not just gonna be able to go,
No.
fuck this. Like
Press a button, just lifts up, goes
because
over
if you
everybody.
noticed where Gary said it was a drone, it definitely was drones. And that's
Yeah.
very misleading because it was very straight flying between those
Right.
buildings. You're not going to be having people driving between those. What about drunk flying? Be bouncing off the buildings, man.
Bumper buildings instead of bumper cars.
You know, what if somebody like is going through a rough divorce and they bomb their ex's house in like a
But I need to
in
see
like
it
a
in action.
kamikaze way? Like,
How are we supposed to really understand how it works if we don't even see it in action? Like it's just a concept. That's
So I
pointed-
started following them on YouTube today. That video is from 8 months ago, by the way. I don't know why. I've never seen it. Again, I've never even heard of the company, and I follow
Yeah, I
a lot
haven't
of
either.
these companies. But it's weird. Here's the other thing that the weirdest part to me about this, probably wouldn't even be talking too much about it if the FAA didn't approve it. That's a big deal. That's a bigger deal than most people probably think. Even though it's a pretty low grade, the fact that they're going to let consumers in this is pretty freaky, dude. But they have Aleph is going to charge $300,000 for this first one. They have already put out a price on the Model Z for $20,35. I hate this stuff. 35 grand for the Model Z if you wait 12 years.
That's a
Okay,
pretty-
can I lock that price in now?
That's in today's in 12 years from now's money, 35 grand. That's a good price.
Yeah, but you don't know. They don't know that.
I mean, if you have 35 grand to spend 12 years from now, I probably don't care.
My point is, dude, they're not going to be 35 grand.
If I had 35 grand extra, I'd probably buy one of these cars.
I feel like for 35 grand, you're going to get like the Flintstones one that you got to pedal in the air.
As long as it gets above 15 feet,
Has flaps.
Steve's gonna be like, Marissa, we're dropping out to pedal faster. She can be like, I'm tired. We've been at it 12 minutes.
All right, then we're gonna crash.
I'd wear Top Gun jackets every day. I just look like everything.
You have to get the
Yeah, you're gonna play Highway to the
sunglasses.
Danger Zone while you go 23 miles an hour down the highway.
Bluetooth music, and I'd have the Top Gun theme song everywhere. They would know.
Guys, or I'll take off.
Yeah, it doesn't say in here.
You don't
It
buy
doesn't
that
say.
just like chill.
Yeah, it didn't say what the flight altitude is or flight speed or.
Well,
or
it
any of
says,
that.
it says they have to stay under the 10,000 ceiling. The 10,000.
Well, that's what they have to stay under. But what can it actually achieve is the thing. Because I'm sorry, 10,000 feet in the air in this thing.
So if you
I got one. Maybe I'm being Debbie Downer, and maybe because I'm so close to New York City. 9/11. Did anybody think about someone getting in the wrong?
I'm pretty sure these things would just the car would dent in a building and then just drop. Because if you looked at it, I don't know if you guys didn't see the article, but even on the article picture that I posted on RiDESHARE, Rodeo, or UberLiftDrivers.com, shows the side angle, and it looks like translucent.
Right.
So I have this feeling it's this very cheaply made. The frame might be okay, but
Well,
the body seems like crap.
Do you really want a $35,000 flying car? Trust it? Do you really trust that?
No.
Look at
No. Yeah. See, that's the look at this is the picture.
What is sustaining this thing in the air?
Your imagination.
Yeah. Apparently,
Can you do
a lot
a
of
360?
a lot of cocaine and peddling.
Yeah, these guys have been hanging out at the White House, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing to it. There's nothing to it. There's
zero technology in that car.
Yeah, there's zero technology in this.
Can you do a 360 and you go upside down and?
See, I don't think you're going to be able to do anything. My guess is that they're going to hit, you'll be able to push a button maybe, and it'll go to 3 places, like Walmart.
Yeah.
Rolling up in Walmart.
If you live in the country or something, you can just push Walmart and it'll fly you there at a very low speed. You'll be there a day later, 20 miles away. You could have walked. I think you guys are right though. What is 25 miles an hour?
It's 25 miles an hour.
That's nothing more than a neighborhood. And my neighborhood's 30.
Yeah, if you
25 miles an
town,
hour will get you beeped at by every driver that's behind you.
That's 2 hours across town.
Yeah, at least you can flip them off and be like, I'll fly if I have to.
Wait, it depends on how fast this thing can achieve flight. Because if it's you're road raging, flipping somebody off, and then you got to press a button and wait 6 minutes for it to go over there.
It'd be pretty sweet to do DoorDash in it, though. There's your food.
Just drop it.
But if it only goes 25 miles an hour, how does it take off?
It's a VTOL. It's vertical takeoff and landing.
Yeah.
Straight up and
Like a
down.
helicopter type of thing?
Yeah, but
take off go 25 miles per hour.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it. There's no technology on any of these photos that suggest it could even achieve this. Even the video, there's nothing that suggests that it can achieve flight. Because what do you need to achieve flight? You have to have something that pushes up. Whether it's and we've already seen that they try air, pushing air from the bottom up does not work.
Right. No.
I think the problem is that you haven't given your $35,000 and waited 12 years yet.
Maybe it has multiple equipment. Maybe it has a bunch of NOSes in it.
Takes off once.
When you give it the NOS, it goes 33.
Is this the car from Fast 15?
It's you don't like 25? Watch this. It's 33 miles an hour.
And then it goes,
I don't know. I found it interesting. I guess the most interesting part is I find it crazy that the FAA approved it.
Can we
Just
get him on
literally
the show?
crazy. I doubt it because I bet they're embarrassed about this thing.
I say we have the security
How do you come on and
guard.
brag about this? I mean, I'd really have to sell them a pitch of like, dude, we love this. Come on.
Well, no, I mean, it's not even how do you love it. It's just, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I have so many questions.
Yep. So
Well, that's what would be fun about it. If he came on, do you know how many questions we would have for this guy?
Yeah. I just do. I have so many questions. Like, where to even start? Like, first off, how do you even start it? What's the inside look like? How do you get in it? That's the thing. I see no doors.
Yeah.
I would ask him, can I?
Well, I don't know if when you pulled up the picture from the website, it looked like, I don't know how to explain it.
It looks like
one
that
of the-
centerpiece rotates.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a hamster wheel there. So almost like it'll turn and maneuver. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, I remember doing one in Vegas one year at the Luxor, and this was like a long time ago, 20 years ago. But they had a flight simulator that took you all the way around, and you had to like balance it back out, and and it was like working in 3 different ways against you though at the same time too. So it was very difficult. But that's kind of what I feel like it is this sphere in the middle. But how fun is that going to be for you and a passenger? Like, watch this, and you guys are just going crazy in the air. I mean, it's got to have a way to take over and land you. And
well, that's what I'm saying. The just by the image and the videos I've seen of this thing, there is nothing to suggest that this car even moves.
And how do the police chase it?
They don't. That's the best part.
They don't. Helicopters, I guess.
You just got your finger lingering out the window. Oh, you can't fly? I can. But there was a part at the bottom that did mention another company and said that their highest ceiling achieved was 8,000.
Right.
So that's pretty high too, man. I don't want to be up 8,000 feet by the car that dude from the video created. That guy looks, you know what I think he looks like the guy from what's the Alien Will Smith movies? It's
Like
franchise.
Independence Day?
No. Franchise.
Men in Black?
Men in Black. He kind of looks like the bad guy from that with the weird glasses, doesn't he?
Hold on.
That's what I was thinking of, man.
Evil Keanu.
I mean, no, but yes.
I just can't peg him down to who he is. He reminds me of somebody. He's definitely evil. He makes Tony Shu look like a saint.
You're talking about this guy right here.
Yeah, but the first picture was probably more.
Well,
like
I mean, this is after he's in his little thing.
Yeah,
but this
and I don't know why.
more,
Just something about it.
Yeah. I mean,
just like it wouldn't shock me. It's like that same dude, and
it looks like he drinks blood of some animal. Don't know which one, but some blood of some animal.
Okay, so got to move into this, you guys. This is crazy. We've talked about a lot of these, but this one's University of Michigan done, so I respect it because University of Michigan isn't just Big Ten. It's not just where I'm from, Michigan, but they're a great school, and they did a study on what would actually be the benefits of Uber and Lyft going to EV, and it is minimal to nil. It's really a sad article. So it says that, if they go 100%, so a new study from the researchers at University of Michigan and Carnegie Mellon University estimate the overall benefits to society of switching ride-hailing vehicles from gasoline to electric would be very modest, on an average 3% gain per trip when other quote unquote costs on society are factored in. And I won't read the whole thing, but I'll go to the bottom here because I want to go to the study's findings here. So listen to this very carefully, you guys, because it's the last part I'm going to read is going to trip you up. And then there's some quotes from people that I won't get into. I'm going to read you what the overall findings, because the first one's the positive and the rest are not that good. So this is Chicago only, by the way. The electrification of Chicago's ride-hailing fleets would reduce lifetime greenhouse gas emissions by 40 to 45% when compared to gasoline-powered vehicles. The reduction is largely due to to the greater efficiency of electric vehicles. Health impacts from local air pollution would increase an estimated 6 to 11% per trip on average due to higher concentrations of local pollutants such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, and particle matter from fossil fuel burning plants. Extra driving to and from charging stations would increase traffic-related harms to society, congestions, crash risk, noise by 2% to 3%. Overall, full electrification of ride-hailing would reduce total harms to the society by about 3% per trip. A 3% reduction in cost to society translates to about $1.5 million per year in savings for the city of Chicago. So, and then this is the part. To put that number into context, ride-hailing is estimated to generate $4 to $5 million in revenue per day in Chicago. They're going to save $1.5 million a year, but there's $4 to $5 million a day brought in. Plus the expenses of all this stuff. I mean, don't even get me started about not having infrastructure and things like that. But I mean, this is just crazy. This is the findings of a Big Ten university, and a good one at that. I mean, this is crazy. This is basically saying, yeah, we're going to call BS. And which is what we've been saying. I'm not just saying it because we've been saying that, but I mean, like, this is Michigan, this is University of Michigan, and they're saying, no, dude, this is here's where I think it is, and here's why I really wanted to talk about this, because look, at one point we probably will be electric and stuff, but why move over to an electric? Why make everybody go fully electric like California and Uber and Lyft by 2025 or whatever stupid arbitrary dates we're going to use? Why do that when we're not even ready to do that yet? I know we're heading that way, but again, infrastructure is going to be a huge thing. We have tons of problems. I mean, there's in this article, there's talk about like the amount, just for rideshare, the amount of charging stations Uber and Lyft would have to have that would like rain on neighborhoods because they'd be very loud. All kinds of things. Like
charge electric. They make a sound when they charge. It's like a humming or something.
I don't know. This made it sound like they would. This
sound
kept coming.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it says so the societal costs include increased traffic congestion, collision risk, and noise due to Uber and Lyft drivers traveling to and from fast charging stations, according to the study published on June 1st in the Environmental Science and Technology in the Journal of Environmental Science.
I mean, let's say the average electric car gets 200 miles to charge. How often are they going to go to the charging station?
Well, if they're all going to be, but if they're all going to
all day,
like, dude, I know the Tesla charging stations here. You guys probably know yours, even if we're not driving them, right? I mean, you guys probably pass some. Yeah, I know where mine are. Mine have about 10, 12 portals. Tony uses them. But these are the people in Teslas, and already that's starting. They get crowded. Can you imagine if every Uber Lyft driver's on them?
They would have to get a lot more.
I mean, I mean, they're going to have to build them out. Like, we can agree that they're going to have to build more. But I mean, if you charge once, you're going to go at least 150 miles before you charge again. Yeah.
And the other part of this, guys, is, again, I just think we're too ahead of the curve. I think we're trying to go to the wall with this and say, hey, we need to be 100% electric right now. No, I don't think we do until we understand things better, because we still use fossil fuels to make charging stations.
Right. And
so we're still going to be using gasoline to do electric. So
and roadside that helps electric vehicles still use diesel to charge your car if you forget to charge. So
sure.
So far tonight, guys, we got cocaine in the White House. We got flying cars that are $300,000 that do 25 miles an hour on the street, and we got this crap.
We're definitely skipping too fast ahead on this full electric stuff. We need to go back to hybrids.
Yeah,
hybrids are awesome.
Hybrids are that, and that's what Gary and I have said. Well, I guess that was a lot of talk on Driver Nation, but we talked a lot about, like, dude, we're trying to get way to it. Like, what we always said, what happened to hybrid? Why did we stop like being so into hybrid?
I think a lot of the hybrids. I mean, most people can't afford a full electric, or if they want to buy a full electric one, the ones that they can afford, they're not. I think where most people, they should be at the top of the line. Like you can't get like I don't know, a Toyota Corolla electric, something like that. You know, a standard everyday car, electric, decent price, everybody can have.
Well, yeah, they're all electric car. Any decent electric car is way overpriced for the average consumer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, I just don't think we're there. I don't understand why this pitch keeps being shoved down our throat because, look, we're not there. I mean, I thought we were all just going to watch California fail. No offense, California people, we love you. But I just thought we were going to watch California fail and not meet their
lying to people?
Well, I do. I mean, we got a lot of people out there we like. A lot of our people.
Some.
They can, I mean, they have the ability to, like, there's Rideshare Road Warrior Rick. He was smart. He moved to Colorado. He got out of California. You guys can, by the way, you guys can leave. There's not a gate up or anything.
You don't need to show a passport to go.
Right, you can just leave. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to stay, stay. I mean, you know, polluted beaches are awesome. Sorry, California. Okay, so what is July 12th? Is that next Wednesday? I believe.
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday,
maybe. I don't know. Let me see.
So that's the
Wednesday.
date.
Wednesday. Yeah, it is next.
Okay,
Wednesday.
so that's the date that the new New York City food law goes into effect for minimum wage. If we all don't know this, it's $17.90. No, you're not. I know you're not. But $17.96 an hour. Now, this is the same thing they tried with rideshare. Gary and I have dissected this on the rideshare side. So this goes into effect, and they're hoping to have it up to $20 by April 2025. Okay, it goes into effect July 12th. What happened today? Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, all dropped lawsuits. Boom, boom, boom. And if nothing else, they're going to get it tied up. So why do we even keep believing in these dates? You guys are not. So those of you that were waiting to get $17.96 an hour next week, it's going to be held up. They're going to fight it in court, and they don't want to pay it. But here's the thing, too. I don't know if you guys understand this one. This one is, I don't know how they would work. It would probably be like the pay by hour type thing, because this one works just by having the app on. It's not active time.
Right.
This is just you turn the app on, you get $17.96 an hour. My guess is they're not going to allow you to reject any offers.
Which, I mean,
everyone.
That, to me, that would make sense. Though.
That only makes sense. Yeah,
of course you have to.
I mean, I think they're crossing lines here. Again, we haven't defined the gig economy, and they're trying to make hourly wage for it.
It was interesting that they said that one of the things that they were doing to try to increase the number of trips completed per hour is shrink the service areas. So basically, you can get within 5-10 miles from the store or whatever it was before. It's less, so they're going to keep you busy.
Yeah.
But did you listen to that? They said we're going to shrink it to 5 to 10 miles. In New York City, 5 miles is a long way.
It is a really long way.
Miles. I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're shrinking the areas essentially.
I mean, essentially in New York City, 2 miles is too much.
Well, in a way, what they're doing by shrinking the service areas is essentially just reducing the number of orders and different things like that, kind of almost like discouraging people to use the service in there so they don't have to have people on the platform.
I've always said that, though, anyways, is they need to take every restaurant and put a radius around it. Because sometimes, like, I get restaurants that, I know you guys don't know my area, but I get them in Edmond and it's going to downtown Oklahoma City. That's 15, 18 miles. Like, why are you allowing that?
Yeah, I think the restaurants are just, in those situations, the restaurants want all the money they can get, not realizing that nobody's going to deliver that order. That customer is going to get cold food.
Well, I don't think it's the restaurants that said it, though. I think it's the apps. Is it the restaurants?
No, the restaurants said it. I asked once one of these restaurants because I had a new restaurant, and I'm like, I just randomly asked them. I say, hey, just quick question. Why are you set so far away where other restaurants in your area? And they're like, oh, we set the parameters to X, Y, and Z. So they do set the parameters. But I personally think, and I've said this for years, that DoorDash, depending on the area, needs to cap it at a certain mile for delivery. That's just my opinion. Cap it at 7-8 miles if you're in a rural area, maybe at like 10 miles. But to me, I feel like there needs to be a cap on a lot of our restaurants out there.
Yeah, I think anything that takes me out of my current zone shouldn't be allowed. Honestly,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like Uber Eats, you know, where you can work anywhere. Anything outside of my normal zone, whether it's Grubhub or DoorDash, I don't think either one should take me out. You know, because and I mean, I know DoorDash is rolling out that new change zone feature or whatever, but you know, it's just annoying because I don't want to work other zones. I pick a certain zone for a reason.
Well, I got one better. In my area, my town is long. So half of my town is in one zone, half of my town is in another zone. But all these restaurants you can order from like 10 miles away. I'm like, I just want to get Arby's, which is in the same town, but it's up north, and I can't even freaking get Arby's because it won't even.
Because Arby's is like, no.
Like, really?
Arby's like, you get 2 miles, Kim.
I'm like, I want Arby's. It's in my freaking town, and I can't even order it. But yeah, I deliver to these restaurants 10, 15 miles away, and I'm like, and I can't freaking get Arby's in my own town.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
By the way, yeah, so check this out. So there's a company, Relay Delivery. I'm guessing it's just New York because it's a very short piece on it here in this piece. But Relay Delivery also filed a lawsuit. They are food delivery in the same court, claiming the law will put the New York-based company out of business unless it raises the fees on the restaurants.
And I think that's what's going to happen overall is if they have to pay this, all fees are going up, not just the ones to restaurants, but the ones to customers and everything. Like these companies aren't just going to eat this money.
They have to make it somehow. So they're going to make it on the fees.
And of course, I think, doesn't New York City, though, don't they have a cap on the fees?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's a certain percentage they're not supposed to go over.
Well,
at least for
I know that weather, there's all those weather and extreme situation type stuff. You're not allowed to, like, if they have a bridge down or if there's a hurricane or, you know, those kind of things, you're not allowed to surge anymore. You're not allowed to upcharge. Or
but I thought they had an actual max cap.
They did. It was like a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. I just can't remember what. I know it was restaurants. I just can't remember if it was restaurants and customers, but I know it definitely was restaurants.
Yeah. You know, one of the problems is that her name is Vilda Vera Mayuga, if I got that right. If not, sorry, Vilda.
Yeah, 15% says delivery fee cap.
She's the head of the city's Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, and she said the law will help lift thousands of workers out of poverty. I don't know where people like this think from, because that is not what's going to happen.
No.
Okay, 17. What was it? 17. Let's just say $20. So they're at $20. $20 an hour in New York City is not going to take anybody out of poverty.
No, and it's
just
and
not.
and you're going to lose some of your best drivers.
Yeah.
So you're going to put some other people out of work.
Well, just because the cost of living already in New York City, $20 an hour isn't nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually though, like just like supply and demand, you know, we don't go and set a new minimum wage every week because New York City gets more expensive. They still have to deal with their $15 or whatever it is minimum wage.
15, yeah.
So I mean, they're asking for more now. They're saying that on average right now in New York City, delivery drivers make $11 an hour after expenses. I'm calling BS. The ones making $11 an hour that's not an active hour. That's going to be one of these phony hours, like what's called an actual hour.
An actual.
Sorry, we deal with so many not actual hours, but yes, an actual hour. And in an actual hour, a lot of these workers are probably doing one dash.
Well, and
part of it being New York City and the congestion.
Yeah, some of it though is New York City and the congestion though, or wait times at these restaurants. Because I know whenever I was up there visiting, some of these restaurants were just busy.
They're
But I
always
mean,
busy.
yeah, extremely busy.
Look, if people are taking the orders, people see a value in doing that. They're not doing it for their health.
What do you mean taking orders?
I mean,
You
if
mean
orders go
delivering
out in New York
orders
City,
or
people are
stealing
taking them.
orders?
No, but people are taking them.
You are you talking about taking them or stealing them?
Either.
Like delivering them or stealing them?
I'm just saying deliveries get made. That's not a complaint
Right.
we hear about. New York City people are not saying, hey, we never get our food. They
Right.
always get their food.
Right. Yeah. Most of them are actually on bicycles or some kind of electric scooter or something like that. That's what most of them are on.
Yeah.
You know, very, very, I would say there's probably very few actual car drivers in downtown New York City.
Right. Like Lou and Mary live on Long Island. That's
Right.
different. In
Yeah.
New York City, you need a bike. Heck, you could probably be one of those walking dashers. Like I always wondered where you'd do that in New York City.
Yeah, but you can't walk my speed. Ask Hannibal. You can't walk my speed and do that.
So
You'd make like $7 an hour.
well, I also don't believe the 11 though. I just don't. I gotta say. I just don't believe that's the. I mean, if that's the average, it's averaged against people making 2. Because I know
Right.
people make money in New York City.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But and of course, a lot of this could be that, you know, they're not really getting the correct information from the gig apps or gig companies whenever they ask for the information too. Because you know they don't want to give out all the information.
So moving into something. This is quick, but it's kind of this is a bothersome article. Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those quick reads where it was fixed real quickly. But did this woman vacationing in Costa Rica being charged 30,000 American dollars for an Uber ride? This goes farther than the stories we've heard before where they immediately get it fixed the next morning kind of thing. No problem.
$30,000 is a lot.
So
ridiculous.
Dominique Adams told Newsweek, this is in Newsweek, how her heart sank when she realized she had been charged $29,994 for a journey from the resort where she was staying in Costa Rica to the airport. Adams, an American, was on her way to meet her husband to celebrate their 5-year wedding anniversary in Guatemala, but after checking her recent transactions, she realized she had been mistakenly charged US dollar rather than the Costa Rican Colon. I'm not Colin or whatever it is. I don't know. A charge of 29,994 colons equals 55 US dollars. But she got charged 29,994 US dollars. But here's the problem. So now you'd expect this. We've seen these stories before. You'd expect it to be fixed right away, right? But she calls. So I won't go through the whole thing, but she calls her bank and she calls Uber. She's going back and forth. She talks about how Uber's no help. She then speaks finally with a member of her bank, which is, I'm not going to not hide their name. They should be slapped for this. Altura Credit Union. Adams said that when she spoke to a representative from Altura Credit Union, they blamed her for putting a travel notice on her account, letting them know she would be in Central America. Something you're supposed to do when you travel. She did it. She did the correct protocol, and because of that, they blamed her.
That's just a bad representative. That's somebody that
it says my bank said that because I placed the travel notice, it allowed the charge to bypass security, whereas usually a charge like that would have been detected as fraud. Really? Why wasn't a $29,000 transaction detected as fraud if she did say she was going there?
But how many average Americans out there have a credit line on their credit card for $29,000 that they would actually be able to be charged that?
Well, this isn't even a credit card; it's her bank. So this was probably her savings.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It goes on to say that that they, and obviously where they were. She said that they needed it for boat rides, like kind of like cabs. So obviously they were somewhere like that. But that's all that they were able to get in cash to get through this vacation. It took 4 days to fix.
Yeah, and 7 days for
you got a banking institution and you got Uber. Yeah. Well, I guess Uber's worthless, but you got these two on it together. And it takes them 4 days to get you your money back. I've read a lot of these articles. We've seen ones that go across the ocean. It's like, dude, I obviously didn't cross the ocean in an Uber last night. And they're like, okay, and they reverse it immediately.
You know, that's very strange that charge can go through. Because like my bank, for example, I have a daily spending limit of 3,000.
Yeah.
It will not allow anything to go over that 3,000.
But I think the thing that we're forgetting here is that our banks don't let us drop $30,000 in a single transaction because we probably don't tell them that we have $30,000 in a single transaction to drop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like my bank, for a security measure, if I want to spend anything over my daily spending limit, I have to call them and say, "Hey, I'm going to be buying this car for $25,000," and they will authorize a one-time transaction up to $25,000 within a 24-hour period. If I need multiples of those, I have to actually go to the bank. They will not just allow it.
It's a credit union, not a bank.
I guess.
So Newsweek did reach out to Altura Credit Union, and they did confirm everything about this. Yes, 4 days. Yes, we let the charge go through. Then they reached out to Uber. No comment.
Of course.
Of course not. And see, like Joe said, when you travel, only use credit cards. Never use your bank. In fact,
Well, that's kind of that's why I actually thought it was a credit card, because I'm like, who would actually use
a
their
credit
bank?
card.
No, it said bank. It said credit union.
But it's their Uber account.
Well, no, this says credit union.
The bank.
So it's a bank card. It's a debit card, not a credit card.
Well, that was kind of
There's
my
other
point.
stuff at the bottom of the article that even says, it mentions specifically, I would definitely tell people to only use credit cards when traveling internationally.
Well, see, this is one thing I've learned is when you travel, even if it's
you're saying credit against a debit,
right? Whenever I travel or whenever I get gas at the pumps, I always use my credit card. I never use my bank card because two simple reasons: one, if there's an error. Two, if hackers or scammers or them credit card scammers, at the pumps, if they get your card, the credit card companies, you report it stolen, they refund it right away, and then they turn off the card. You're not out of your bank account.
Yeah.
See, so who says we don't give tips and tricks, dude? Put a credit card on your Uber account, especially if you're an international traveler.
Yeah,
this is real.
Yeah, I try to use my bank for actual like bills, for my house, things like that. I don't ever link it to Uber or pay at the pump or anything like that. Because
if we talk about Uber stealing a potential $1 or $2 tip, if they're going to do this, they're stealing tips.
But why wouldn't even like when this poor woman even called Uber? Why didn't Uber just say, "Wow, $35,000? That's a lot for one trip."
29.
Whatever it ended up being, I'm just saying thousands of dollars.
I mean, first off, I don't think there's an Uber ride in the world that would take $29,000.
Like, why didn't they say, "Oh my God, yeah, this lady has a valid point"?
Yeah, so like Joe says here, credit cards are required to give it back. If they take it from your bank, you have to go through the fraudsters who took it from you.
Yeah.
That's why they referred the lady to Uber.
Hey, Dash and Grandpa. Hey, Brandon, after this stream is his stream, so go over there and make sure to check it out, by the way.
Absolutely.
There will be milk and cookies.
I am going to pull up this other video because I want to see how I'm basing our stories on time left. And I want to talk about this because it's news everywhere, but we'll go just a little bit into this. Let me see if I can get this thing going. Here we go.
Which one?
It's the NBC story, but it's everywhere it's a DoorDash story about the driver cursing at the customer over the 25% tip.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this because there's a reason why. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody in the chat's probably seen this video too on TikTok and YouTube.
It's like everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. And he did get fired, by the way.
Yeah, that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
House for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Oh, you got to rewind it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. And a Texas customer posted on TikTok is bringing up this big debate over tipping culture in the U.S. It has a lot of people feeling a lot of ways. Want you to watch if you haven't seen it.
Texas people.
I just want to say it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Ooh, so sounds like a little bit of an expletive there from the Dasher, kind of an attitude. $5 tip on a $20 pizza. So that's, a 25% tip. Then in a series of posts, the DoorDash customer who got the exchange on her Ring camera, doorbell camera, or whatever, said, how much should I be tipping on a $20 pie? She says she herself has worked in the service industry for more than a decade and tips, in her words, very well. So what happened to the DoorDasher, the driver? A spokesperson for the company confirmed that a worker has been removed from the platform, basically fired, in connection with this, saying that respectfully asking for a tip is acceptable, but
abusing it is not allowed.
I'm not going to go. The rest of the piece it's like 4 minutes total, but and it is worth watching. But I'm not going to play the whole thing here. But the bottom line is they get into this thing about that DoorDash's range between $2 and $10, and they start talking about tipping, and if 25% or 20% isn't the right number, what is, for God's sakes? And then they compare it to pizza delivery at one point, and that really made me mad because pizza delivery drivers get paid an hourly wage.
Right.
Yeah.
So come on, guys, this is night and day different. You can't talk about this. We cannot be talking about the same conversation of tips when I've already been saying remove base pay. Have the last flow screen say how fast do you want your food, and your driver's paid based. No, seriously,
I agree.
You could prioritize orders. It's not to make people wait, but you could.
But then we would have
orders.
to have full transparency in order for that to happen.
I would want that, but actually, have thought about it. They wouldn't. They could still do it untransparent because they could still give out orders to top dashers that are the quick ones.
Here's the thing about this order. Okay, $5 tip. We know base pays between $2 and $2.50.
Yep.
So that's at least a $7 order. If it's 2 miles from the restaurant, not a terrible order.
No.
If it's 7-8 miles, I probably wouldn't take it.
But the driver took it. That's on
I know
him.
that's the next thing. The
That's
driver
the
did
thing.
take it.
And Joe's saying something very correct here. I've been in the service industry most of my life. That is a reasonable tip. 25% is legit.
I think
Even when I was a bartender and really never got a paycheck because if you make too much in tips, your paycheck zeroes out. So look, I mean, like that, I am literally for DoorDash. Remove yourself from quit pissing us off with taking $2 to $1.50 to $1 to 75 cents.
Right.
Enough. Just take it away. And at the last stage, let the customer choose. Now they're they can't complete the order until the last stage, which says, how fast would you like your food? And it adds different amounts to the total that are straight up to the customer.
Oh, kind of like shipping, how shipping does. Do you want it next day? Do you want it priority?
Yeah.
Do you want it like in 7-8 days?
And the order doesn't go through until you hit that last screen. And that's what determines the value of the trip. Take it out of their hands so that way we don't have to blame DoorDash anymore.
I wonder if customers would actually use that. That'd be awesome.
Well, they would have to. You wouldn't get your food.
Do you think the guy was mad because of the amount of the tip? Or
No,
because the amount of the tip and the size of the house, he expected that somebody with a house that size or that nice should tip him bigger just because they have the money to afford that type of house.
I think the guy saw the house and said that he was probably entitled to X, but it goes down to me. It goes down to he's the one who took the order. Like he made that decision to say, I'm making this up. It was a $7.75 order. I took this $7.75, even if it was $6.75 with a plus sign, and it was going to go up to $7.75. Like he took it. He knew what the order was going to be. That's on him. It's
or
not
even if he didn't know what it was going to be, it's still on him.
Yeah, it's not based off of the size of the house that you walk up to. That's to me, that's absolutely.
But a lot of people actually think that. They think if you live in a nicer house, you should tip more. And I'm not a fan of it either. But I mean, wherever you deliver to, say, a $3 million home and you get a $5 tip, and I know this lady's wedding, you get a $5 tip, you're like, well, damn, these people are rich. That's what some people think. Why didn't they tip more? I personally don't, because I look at the miles to the money. It's whatever. I took it. It's my problem.
Well, yeah, and I also think the other thing is you shouldn't be looking at the house for the tip.
Exactly.
Right.
But
It's none of your business. It's none of your business. Their lifestyle. You don't know.
I mean, it's a pizza. It was a single pizza. If it was like $50 worth of sushi, then maybe you'd understand if it's a $5 tip and say at a nice house and that's a big order. Even maybe you have some of a case, but for a single pizza.
And another thing that bothers me is How did he know that that was the final tip unless he completed the offer the moment he got there?
About that too. I think he did that same thing as soon as he.
Yeah, as soon as he got there, he hit complete.
I think as soon as he handed it to her, he hit that, and then he got the final thing there.
Yeah.
But think about it also from like the customers. Say I'm rich, which I'm not, but say I'm rich and I live in like a $10 million house, and I decided to order myself and my husband a pizza. So what? I make it in her case what
$20.
$20 on it, and I tip $5, which it is 25%. I'm thinking, okay, I'm 25%. That's it's a little bit more than an industry standard. So okay, I ordered one pizza. So you're saying because what my house looks like, you're expecting what, a $10 tip? So now I just spent $20 on a pizza, not including the delivery fees. Now I'm going to be spending $10 on a tip. So basically my one pizza is going to come to my house for $40. I would say you're out of your mind, even if I am rich.
So let me play devil's advocate. Should the customer have made it a hand it to me order? Should they just had to leave that door and this avoids all of this? Like, why are you going to make me hand it to you?
Well, no, I don't think that matters because, I mean, you're either a jerk or you're not.
Well, I mean,
the customer did their job. They ordered their food.
They ordered their food. They tipped. Yeah.
And I actually agree with Ellen. Ellen just said it right.
Yeah, right.
What if she was the nanny and didn't actually own the house?
Well, she went. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter because it doesn't. This whole thing was done correctly. The driver's just a jerk.
The driver is a jerk.
I mean, because the person's like, what? Like, she's on the intercom going, what? You don't like that tip? And he's like, F you. Like, so it's, I mean, but nonetheless, at least I'm glad she had the balls to get on there and go, you know what? Screw you.
Like, yeah, you're going to be TikTok famous and deactivated.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. There's no scenario that
what happens? A tip like that gets pulled. And if the guy doesn't create the story that we just heard, then we'd hear the next day how he was tip baited.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So how much tip baiting is this crap? Which wouldn't be tip baiting. They actually get pissed and they're like, dude, screw you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of tip baiting, but yeah, if I had somebody this rude and I ordered Uber Eats and I could remove my tip, I probably would. If you,
I wouldn't, but nonetheless, I would be, and I wouldn't take it out on the next driver, but it would be a learning experience.
I wouldn't take it out on the next driver, but I'd definitely take it on this one.
I would reduce my tip by $1 to make a point that it could have been more.
$4 instead of $5.
Take it all, but he did take some, but he could have took it all. Like, yeah, be careful. Next time it's going to be gone, all of it.
Yeah.
Today's $1. Next week.
To me, this is just another driver that makes us just all look bad when there's so many far few in between. It's just these people, unfortunately, are the ones that are making the news. I think we said it last week. You never see the drivers who say, hey, I had really great service, make it through TikTok. You always see like the really bad and give us all a bad
start
name.
a trend. We should start ordering food just to talk about how great service we get.
We would get 0 views on those videos.
I'll make your video.
We would have 4 views from this panel. That's all.
Chat would watch our video.
That's what he's saying.
John, do that. In fact, John, do that. No, order something, and then make a YouTube short on it, and let's see how many views you get.
I mean,
but in order to make it legit, you have to have a Ring doorbell just to make sure that it's like legit that you have it on camera.
I have to do all this work just to figure TikTok.
Now, this was from last week. Kim, I don't know if you already talked about this. For some reason, we didn't cover it. It was June 29th. It was posted in the Daily Dot, which should be called the TikTok or whatever. But,
what was it about?
So the viewers are defending a DoorDash driver who throws Dairy Queen at the porch.
No, I didn't cover it.
Okay, awesome story here.
Like what?
Okay,
which one was this on? What day?
So it's June. Oh, on mine, I don't know. It's like it's July 3rd. It's like a dose of Daily Dot. It's all Daily Dot.
July 2nd.
I think, and it's
July.
So it says the Dairy Queen driver, and so it says a DoorDasher apparently frustrated with a hard to find address threw a bag of food on the customer's front porch and swore audibly as he left. But the scene captured on a Blink camera and shared online led to some others that sided with the driver. So she said the lady who was getting the delivery she has a very hard to find house, and she's admitted this, but she's even said things like, dude, it's not my fault that Google Maps can't place me right and isn't guiding you correctly. Like, I'm just trying to order food. So again, why wouldn't these apps flag that and fix it? Who knows? But she notes she even tipped him. But then the story takes a little turn, but it's not enough of a turn to persuade me the other way, to be honest, because she did say that she anticipated the problem and typed instructions on what to look for in the delivery notes that he did not look at. And so when I came out, she reported he was speeding away. Dude, it's not my fault you can't read, is what she said.
You want me to show the video? It's fine.
This is right. This is where the controversy comes in. Like, people are like, you don't know he can't read. Like,
I know, but if she did leave delivery notes, she did do the right thing. I mean, that's the only thing I ask customers is, if you live in a complicated area, leave me notes and I can most likely find you. Just leave me notes so I know what I'm doing.
but if she's had this happen multiple times, why isn't DoorDash just correcting it?
Well, actually,
GPS.
that's actually the CTO of DoorDash. He was out doing his 3 deliveries for the year that he has to do or whatever. And he actually made a comment about that they do plan to revamp the navigation because he got lost doing deliveries.
But is that DoorDash or is that Google? Because
that was DoorDash.
Google Maps in the back.
How can you get lost when you're just in a fake car but with a green screen behind you?
I don't know. but yeah, I mean, like, DoorDash uses the built-in Google Maps, but I'm not sure how much they could do. I'm assuming that they actually have someone that they communicate with on that project that could probably help them figure it out.
Liaison.
Yeah, like a Google liaison or something. And so I'm sure they're going to work on it, but how far in the future, I don't know.
But logistics of where somebody lives is like one of the only things they do.
Google? Yeah.
No, these apps.
Well, no, these apps
They
all
take
rely
the order,
on,
but they're also supposed to make sure you get where you need to go.
well, yeah, but like they use third-party apps to do that.
Except
They
for
don't have
Uber. Doesn't Uber have their own GPS in there? Or does
Uber has their own, but it still relies on some other APIs as well.
But when they have a customer ping, don't they have that actual ping? And if they're going to send an address and they're like, wait, why are we sending them here when it's here?
No,
Okay.
because what they do is they just use the API from Google. Because like Apple Maps and Google Maps, they use 2 different APIs too. So if you actually put in a wrong address in Google, it might be correct in Apple.
And might be different in Waze.
Yeah,
and jacks up in Google. Waze is my backup.
But Waze is owned by Google. That makes no sense.
Waze for me is absolutely horrible. I hate using
I hate Waze.
I hate Waze. For whatever reason,
Waze is owned by Google.
Random address that, like, say place that are really street, and I have to look it up in Waze.
Before we move on, though, I
know.
I want to show people how this Dasher dropped this off. It's funny. Okay, so here's the video.
Look at this ray of sunshine.
Plus, you guys, it's Dairy Queen.
Yeah, and he turns around to the camera and flips it off and says, "F you."
Oh, wow. I will say, though, this was like 2 years ago. I didn't throw it. I flung somebody's order because I had this house and it was in a McMansion and we just had a blizzard and there was like feet of snow and they ordered, but when they went to plow their driveway, they plowed the snow up to their front door and it was a leave-at door. So you had to go over a mound to get to their front door. I'm like, I'm not going through this mound of snow.
Kim's doing it like rodeo style. She goes, "Not today."
So I literally had to almost fling it to their doors because I wasn't gonna go through. Literally, the mound was as high as I was.
That sounds like they had their kid do the shovel the snow. He shoveled it all backwards. He shoveled it towards the door.
So I even called them to say, hey, come get your food. They wouldn't answer the phone. They wouldn't answer a text. I'm like, well, this is how they're getting it. So I had to literally fling their
Did you have
Chinese
to take a picture of it?
The only thing that would
Yeah.
make that story better is if there was actually a Ring video of her doing it and it went viral. and then Kim would be playing this video trying to explain why she did it.
Would there be a poll? Would you go over the mound or would you fling it?
Legitimately, the mound is
I'd throw
snow.
heat,
Not
man.
climb that mound. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd throw
You know
full heat.
somebody would post it. Well, they're paid to deliver it to the door.
Exactly.
It's called DoorDash, not flinging it. Like it did
was
end up at
honestly-
the door. It ended up at the door.
It was one of those delivery nights that it literally the roads had it had just stopped snowing, and I'm like, okay, let me go and test the roads, see if I can deliver. And the roads were still not most fantastic, and they decided. So I was annoyed as it was, like trying to go through these dark roads to navigate to this house, and then to have it leave at door and they're not plowed and there's a mound, and I'm like, no. I draw my limit.
I think that's where people talk about the delivery drivers and the bad things they do, but anybody who's done enough deliveries, they've had that rage moment where they understand, like, okay, maybe that person got caught during a rage moment. They, had a long day and they couldn't find it, and
I can tell you right now, you will never catch me on a Ring video. I might be mad as hell, but you will never, because I know people have cameras. The moment I pull up, I'll be polite walking up to the door. I don't care if it's handed to me or not. I'll be polite to the customer. Once I get back in my car, I'm calling Steve. I'm going to cuss everything about that customer.
I feel like these people, they
I'm
don't
just
Yeah,
supporting
Ellen,
them.
I wish they even had a sidewalk. There wasn't even a sidewalk. That's the
Camera,
thing.
like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my!
there wasn't even a sidewalk to even leave it on. It was literally a mound of snow and then their doorway. I didn't know what to do.
You should have told them you didn't leave a sled out there. I can sled your food to you.
Right there. You could have left on top of the mound.
I was thinking that, but then I'm thinking, well, it's either I fling it and try to land it straight so it lands okay, or I can put it on a mound of snow and it gets freezing cold really quickly. So I decided for the first option.
The complaint line just reminded me of this friend I have. I have this friend, you guys. She's great. Her name is Tammy. And Tammy, if you're ever watching this, sorry, I'm going to tell it. Whenever she goes out drinking, she's fun, but she gets pretty damn drunk. Sometimes offensive even. And she hands you a card. And the card says the Tammy complaint line. She has a Google number that says, "I'm sorry if I offended you. Please leave your full complaint after the beep."
That's hilarious.
It's really funny. And then her and her husband go back and listen to it later. It's really
Do people actually leave messages?
She should just
it gets
TikTok
full.
it. She should just TikTok it.
No.
Oh
That
yeah.
has to be a TikTok. That has to be like,
Yeah.
She's not a gig worker. She's just
I don't care.
Oh,
She
I'd
should
say
still,
that could be like a viral video.
she
right
should
there.
still do like
a whole YouTube short.
she should still do TikToks and react to the messages as she hears them. That would be hilarious. I would watch that.
most of the time she can't remember the night either. So like if she has a real dinger, she'll have like 11 messages. It's really quite humorous, I gotta say. But two quick Instacart stories because we're running out of time. But so this one's real quick, but it's just bad. So an Instacart, and they say employee, but they're talking about a driver, was an hour late, and the customer was unable to wait and tried to cancel their order. The employee got mad and sprayed an unknown liquid on their front door and door cam and knocked on the door for 10 minutes straight. They called customer service, and customer service said, call the police immediately.
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with these drivers?
I mean, I say things like this because we talk about these studies, and then I hear Zach saying things with you and Kim saying, oh, they not that many people pee on houses. Yeah, they do. They do weird stuff.
So what's the unknown substance?
That's
pee?
all it says.
That's why it says unknown substance.
I'm like, is it pee?
Like, I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's the thing. That's like when you say unknown, that's like the most interesting part of the story automatically. What is the unknown thing? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It just says the employee got mad and sprayed an unknown liquid around their front door and door cam.
So, but I thought with Instacart, if they cancel the order, don't they still get paid, or they just don't get the tip? Or
He was an hour late.
oh, so we'd probably have to return it and not get paid. And
Yeah.
But who has 10 minutes to knock on someone's door? Like, I don't have 10 minutes to knock on someone's door.
Just 10 minutes of really?
Probably peeked out the window. Was like, no.
See, that's the kind of guy that pisses on a house.
That is.
He probably would have been better off just pissing on the house.
That'd be a lot less.
He probably went to piss on the house, realized he had an empty soda bottle or something in the car, pissed in the bottle, and then threw it all over the door.
House.
Ew.
I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, this is the gig economy, you guys.
What is wrong with people?
And so this is the last one we got tonight, because I had a couple others, but they're big deep dive ones. So this one is, again, I'm sick of these, because here's the title, and in the title there's a word that does not belong. Customer says male Instacart shopper couldn't find quarter pound of sliced deli meat.
Yeah.
Male?
I'm telling you, it's all about the male shoppers.
Male. I can find quarter pound sliced deli meat. They don't need to put the word male in there. They could just put stupid Instacart shopper, because it could be female too. Come on, guys.
I mean, it says deli. Just go to the deli and ask somebody.
Right, but then what they did was they bought them a quarter of a ham.
Oh, it has to be a male shopper.
See what they I feel like this is the problem, is that they put male shopper instead of high shopper. I feel like that guy was like,
he's high.
He's like, yeah, this is definitely it. Like, to come to that conclusion, or like a first time shopper, I don't know, but like,
So this is what she says. In the video, she shares the story of her delivery misadventure caused by a male personal shopper who was apparently stumped by an item on her list requesting a quarter pound of ham. So this is a quote from her. The stereotype that if you get a male shopper, they're not going to be able to find substitutions. They're going to mess stuff up. And then her handle on Twitter or on TikTok, I believe, is at witchy_coffee. She went on to recount how she was contacted by her shopper in regard to her quarter pound of sliced deli ham, confused as to why the shopper didn't just ask the employee at the deli counter. She confirmed that she wanted a quarter pound of ham. The shopper responded that he had found it. Now, what she was delivered was however, sliced ham, but instead a quarter of an entire ham.
So just one big old block of ham.
Like a quarter pound of ham, like a little quarter pound slice of block.
That's my thing, man. If it,
How did they find a quarter pound of ham, like an actual ham, unless it was like a ham steak? But how did you find a quarter pound of ham?
I think it was
you can find it there.
I got them.
Really?
I think it had been like a pound of ham. So it was like, probably.
They look like an end of a ham. You see the bone coming through. And
I know, but usually they're more than a quarter of a pound. Usually they're like a pound, 2 pounds.
Costs more, but
yeah.
Well, that's the funny part.
He got her a quarter, like Joe said, got her quarter ham.
But it wasn't a quarter pound.
$1.68 on her receipt. So he's just like, maybe
he's like, oh, $1.68. He just forgot to read per pound.
She also noticed that the ham was rung up, costing $1.60, costing only $1.68, which was not the sticker price of the item. I think he stole it. She noted.
She said he stole it. But if he stole it, then how did he get the ham? How did she know?
How would she know? How would she know that he got the wrong one? Yeah.
Because she's looking at it.
I mean, if you get a nice for $1.68, I'm making my own quarter slice.
What are you talking about? If I order a quarter pound of ham and I get a quarter ham in my bag, I'm gonna notice.
But then what did he steal?
That's what I don't understand.
So, but instead of a quarter and a substantially larger amount of meat,
ham did not cost $1.68. I'll tell you that much. No. That's why I think she stole it.
As if this mistake wasn't enough, Witchy Coffee also noticed that the ham was rung up as costing only $1.68, which was not the sticker price. I think he stole this. And then it just says the clip has received 342,000 views.
So
he picked up.
Did she call this
or something?
Did she call them to pay for it then, or did she just receive the stolen goods?
I think she stole it in that case. Does it technically make it her stealing it? I think she snitched on herself technically.
Wait, how did he do that? How did he get the quarter? How did he get the ham for $1.68?
Self checkout.
That's kind of my point.
Well, I think he probably hit the something or can't scan or one of those options that like.
So he knew he got the wrong thing.
Probably.
Yeah, he had to like make.
He's probably like, this is good.
He's like, this is expensive, and I don't think it's right, so I might as well just steal it and give it to her.
Like, she'll probably be happy with this. She gets some extra ham.
But then, what was the $1.68?
That's a good question.
To me, it seems like the deli line was down and around, and he's like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening. I'll pretend that I got a ham and go get a quarter ham instead, and say, oh, here's your substitution."
So probably, you know what I bet it was? It was probably something like because he probably put a quarter pound, and it was like $4 or something a pound, and then so that's why she was charged $1.68.
So. Here's what the Daily Dot article says near the end. The apparent ineptitude of male shoppers is quickly becoming a pervasive stereotype. thanks in part to stories like these. Like, you guys, I don't want that stereotype. I know Gary doesn't either. John, I imagine you can shop well too. I know others can. I shop great, you guys.
So I tell you, it's funny. Most of the people I see shopping when I'm out shopping are actually males. Like I see actually in my market, I see more male shoppers than I notice more male shoppers than female shoppers. Actually,
I mean, like I don't care for the stereotype. Like I don't care either way because I don't do shop and delivers.
Shop and delivers is the best, man.
Is this why I get bad Instacart orders?
It could be.
Could be.
That's why
Instacart is stereotyping men.
I'm gonna drop a lawsuit on them.
What if Instacart has an algorithm that gives the men the worst orders?
So yeah, her handle, by the way, is @witchy_coffee. So she has a TikTok. I don't know why she had to be so rough on this guy. I was just watching the words go by on the TikTok because it was in CC while I have it in this mode. But I don't know. I feel like. Enough of these, dude. People see one and then they get the littlest thing wrong. They're like, I'm gonna douse this guy. Like, knock it off, dude. Let's douse some women on TikTok. Not every woman shopper is good either.
You can't do that, Steve.
Why?
It's sexist.
I give up.
Dude. I'm gonna go over like let balloon.
Tony has a great point here, guys.
We don't know. We are presuming. We are assuming here.
I mean,
she presumed.
She assumed. That's true. That's true. We're just following the story. We're just reading the news.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gigan. Gigan knows.
The female ship shoppers are very territorial.
You know what I find weird is
it's like we need a documentary on National
like the short
female shoppers.
The short time I actually did Spark, all the females knew everybody's name. I didn't know a single person that was there.
Oh, that's so me.
I like my wife. She did Spark full time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so, and that's so and so." I'm like, I've picked up here like 12 times. I don't know a single person.
So the funny thing is, as a guy,
so
I gotta say, like, I know people's faces, but I just call them, "Hey, what up, bro? What up, big dog?"
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know their actual name.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I got to know like
hey, you're out here getting incentive again. Nice to see you, brother.
Yeah, I got to know the people at Pickup. I knew all the people at Pickup by name. I got to know the person who, the sales associate who put out the meat every single day. I got to know him by name. That's That's totally me. But that's everywhere I go though.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't know a
just
single
food.
person.
It's not just food shopping. It's restaurants. It's everywhere.
Like they knew all the other drivers' names and where they live and like what days they wear. I'm like,
That's a little bit.
what do you guys do here? Like I pull up, get my stuff, and leave.
What do you guys find time to have these conversations? Where's this hangout? Where's the break room?
I usually did it because if I couldn't find something, I had no problem going up to an employee and say, "Hey, can you help me find blank?" And then you just
I
start
don't have that
talking.
problem either.
If I can't find it. I can't. It's not there.
But my care about their name or my care about their name's never there. My care about our interaction ends the moment they show me where that item is. And then the next time I come in, I couldn't even tell you it was the same person.
I just, maybe it's just me, Gary, and John, but that's all three of us on this panel. But like all of us know how to replace an item.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Gary doesn't
they're
do
out of
shop and
mustard. I'll
delivers,
get
I
them
don't know.
pickles instead.
Oh, Gary,
I mean, I'm not a moron, guys.
No, I know how to replace them, but I mean, it's not rocket science. You go not available, and it gives you choices. You go, okay, here's
And then
one.
he said it's still not available. Moving
Yeah,
on.
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
ask an associate. No, I'm not going to ask an associate.
Even if I didn't have a list, though, I could do it.
Yeah, I
Just
could
'cause
too.
I'm not
I mean-
stupid, dude. Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
mean, like I've complained about this before. Whenever I order like my keto bread and stuff, they want to substitute keto bread for regular bread. It's like, seriously, people?
Oh, no.
you're like, sure, dude. Yeah, because the keto didn't matter.
Yeah.
I even mentioned in a recent
Moron.
opinion, like with Spark, I have a good rating, but I have not a high items found percentage because if it gives you a stupid substitute, I'm not going to substitute.
Yeah, why would you?
Why would I substitute tortillas with wheat bread? Like, what do you? What?
Well, why would you substitute Cheerios cereal with a quarter of a ham?
What if a ham is a good deal?
That's my new substitute go-to. If I ever do an
But I'm
Instacart
going to
again,
use it. I know that
I'm
much.
substituting something with a quarter ham.
You should substitute the whole shopping list with just a bunch of quarters of ham.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas. I'm going to get you a
Quarter
quarter
ham.
ham.
I'm sure it's honey baked.
I mean, I am sick of these articles, though, and I do think it's okay. If it's sexist to talk about females being bad shoppers, then it should be the
Yes.
same and just enough, dude. Look, we're
So
either
this is an approved substitute. You can substitute tortillas with donuts.
Nobody will be in. I'll be like, yeah,
I don't think anybody's gonna be mad.
yeah, no. Hey, they were out of apples, so I got you toilet bowl cleaner. It's kind of the same, right? I mean, I feel like going over the top
they're both
now.
health items.
And like really just they were out of everything you wanted, but here's a bunch of other crap.
I substituted your entire list.
I think I had the orders mixed up. I don't know, but this is what you get. Like $300 worth of bleach.
That's the unknown substance.
Why'd I get tip baited?
What do we all got going on before we get out of here? Kim, what do you got? I know last night you had the Show Me team on the
I had
Money
Show Me the
Hungry.
Money Club team on last night. We went over the Tony Shoe interview with Harry. So it was
got a little
fun.
heated with Zach and Sergio.
I know. Well, I love
I
Sergio.
mean, like I was like, woo.
Well, Sergio pretended to be like the CEO, like he pretended to be Tony, but we had no idea what he was doing. And we're like, what? And then Zach really thought he was serious. So he was just like, no. Like, and then we're going back and forth. And I'm just sitting there like,
I mean, at one point Sergio left. I was watching. He's like, I'm gonna leave for a while. He just leaves. It was pretty funny. I recommend anybody who missed it to go back and watch it. It was pretty funny, and it's good information
honestly,
too. But
it was a really good show. We talked a lot about legislation and what it means for DoorDash, and it was really good having those guys on and really getting different perspectives and opinions. And I gave Harry a B for his interview. Everybody else gave him a C, but I overall,
you
I
gave
know
him
those,
a B minus.
Yeah, I know those interviews are. I know. I know. Well, be honest, whatever. But I know those interviews aren't hard, and I think it was definitely, in my opinion, better than the Dara one. Maybe it's just because Tony Hsu is a better talker than Dara, but no, it was good. I thought it was a really good show last night. So
I thought it was funny that Chris, if you're still in here, I thought it was hilarious that Chris was like, "Of course you're going to be on the bandwagon, Kim, and give Harry a better grade than he deserved." I was like, "Okay, Chris is going to douse him. You gave him a B-. It gets to Chris. He's like C+."
I know, and I'm like, "What's the
dude,
difference, Chris?"
There's not much difference, bro. You're talking like 2 points on a test. Like, come on, man.
81? No, 79.
But yeah, it was a really fun show. We have the Long Island Dash Experience next week, next Wednesday. So join us next Wednesday. It's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm like, did I do that right? 5 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, it's always tons of fun. We have every week is just something new. We didn't even get to. We literally had a whole show planned out. And we didn't even get to we got rolling on the whole commentary on the videos that we didn't even get to the show. So, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was. And the chat was really funny too, because nobody else knew what was going on either with the Sergio thing. I was like, dude, and I've been talking with Sergio. I know he plugged the event for August 5th here in Denver with Stephanie Vigil, but I was like, man, you're kind of like going against a lot of things that you believe that we're like talking. Like, what's going on here? I didn't really understand what was going on either.
We had no idea.
Sergio is king.
I know, but they're like, Sergio's on his soapbox, and I'm like, what? And I'm just sitting there the whole entire time going, what is he doing? Like, that's not what Sergio believes in. Like, I just don't understand. I was so confused.
I put in the chat, I'm like, it's weird that Sergio is the only gig worker I know that has a pool, because he had his green screen of the pool behind him. Right. And somebody in the chat replied to me and was like, Steve, it's a green screen. I was like, really? You mean it's not a real pool? Okay.
Yeah.
You mean his shoulder just doesn't randomly disappear on the right every once in a while?
Yeah. But it's funny because Harry was in the chat before we even started, and I said, he's like, I'm scared. I'm like, nah, I'm the nice one.
He chimed in twice after you started too.
Yeah.
So
it was good. I really enjoyed having the guys on last night, and hopefully we'll do it more often, cross shows. So that's actually really
to give fun. Harry a little props too, you guys. Yeah. I need to. I'm not going to grade his interview like you guys did, but I'm going to say that Harry is getting better at doing these interviews, and the way he does them, trust me, is the way they will be done forever, or else Harry will not get other CEOs on the podcast. Look, he stays within a region, but if you go back and watch all of Harry's pieces with CEOs, Dara, Tony, the guys at Lyft, if you go back and watch those, the progression is he's learned how to press some thresholds. But of course, every Dasher's question is always like, why do we get paid crappy? That's not a question he can ask. He can't go, why do you pay them crappy? Sergio can ask that. Sergio will have a great episode with Tony Hsu, but it will be the last one.
Well, I was going to say, it wouldn't even be the last one. He'd probably just get up and walk away.
Yeah.
I can't see any CEO sticking around for stuff like that.
No.
And most CEOs want questions up front.
Yeah. And, I think Sergio said it, I think at the end of the show really well. What other channel has had Tony Hsu on their actual channel?
Or Dara.
Or Dara.
Logan Green.
Or like any of these people. And it is happening on the RiDESHARE guys. So, mad credit to Harry. And I'm very grateful and very fortunate to be a part of their team and really being a part of critiquing the interview. And sorry, boss man, hopefully did some good justice last night.
And not to drag this on, but I don't think a lot of people actually remember when Harry started doing interviews, like, for example, Ubers. The first few were just kind of like thrown out oddball questions, nothing real hard. But then as he keeps getting these CEOs back for more and more, or the managers, he can actually start asking tougher questions. You can't just go into the very first interview and just bombard them with any type of question you want, because you'll never get any CEO ever on your channel.
Yeah.
And I, I agree. Like, I agree on one very quickly. I agree, Kevin. No, he did not. Like, if you had an interview with Tony for a half hour and he had to stay in the room and you were going to get it, you would ask a lot of hard questions. He has been trained professionally to not answer them, how to walk around them, how to lead them into some other topic of conversation, how to steer. And he's a professional at this. So first of all, he'd probably get away from a lot of the tough questions, but B, you'd never hear from him again.
And coming up on your second one, asking about transparency, I can guarantee you Tony's going to come out with some, well, we do this to make sure every customer has the same opportunity, across the platform, blah, 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 blah. They're going to come up with some BS stuff like that. And the unfair deactivations, he's going to come back and probably put it off on Checker or something like that. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, we screw up.
Look, I challenge anybody in the gig economy to get these people on their podcast and ask whatever you want. Please, please get Tony Hsu, get Dara, get any of them. Get any of them, and even for 20 minutes, and question them. I would love to see how it goes. Sergio pointed out something else too. Like, wait till you're in that interview. You think that you got a bunch of questions, but wait till you're actually in it. Even though you have a bunch of things to throw at this guy, when you get into a situation like that with a CEO of a conglomerate worldwide, it's a different feeling than you probably are preparing for it.
Right. And I believe one interview, he did ask, I don't remember which one, it was CEO manager. Harry did actually ask something about pay one time, and it was like a BS answer that they gave anyways.
He asked about paying the Tony Hsu one, and I thought actually
he asked about the earned by time, and
because he pointed out that
which I don't agree with
an hour. I thought that was cool though.
Right. But I mean, like I
slipped it in.
I don't agree with a lot of what was said in the interview. I think it was a lot of BS answers, but I commend Harry for actually getting him on.
And that's his first interview with Tony.
Right.
Yeah.
He's done 3 with Dara.
Because I mean, I don't care what world you live in. Earned by time is not the same as earned per order. It's just not.
No, but that's what I'm saying. At least I liked the fact that, because even all the articles out right now, Bloomberg, that was one of the ones on tonight, but it's just too deep of a dive. But the Bloomberg article was saying how, like, listen, guys, we have a problem here because this earned by hour or earned by time thing isn't actually real. They're like, it's earned by active time, and that means that you're not getting truly paid for hours. So I thought that Harry addressed that. I mean, he pointed that out, that you're talking about active time.
Yeah, see, Kevin, you hit on the nail there. His answer was pretty much 3-sided marking. Has to be fair for everyone. That's what I said. You're never going to get the answers out. So,
right. It's more about, just going through the motions of having these people on. Like, most people probably think, it just helps. It just helps the RiDESHARE Guy channel. If you go and look, it's actually very strange. If you go and look at how many views that full video got, it's less than like a Kim video gets on the RiDESHARE Guy.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, you guys. It's like one of the biggest things that happened on the RiDESHARE Guy this calendar year, and it gets less views than everything. So
the most important thing, but
I mean, again, was it, I wouldn't call it softball, because I believe it's a league where it's hardball league, so there is no softball. But
all right, we're dragging this point out.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was decent. I would love to see everybody else's, and if anybody else can get them, it's not a joke. I would love to see anybody else interview him. No, I mean, I really would. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him get on Show Me the Money Club and Sergio tear into him. Yeah, he would never be back, but it would be cool. But I guess that said, Gary, what do you got going on?
Nothing. Literally nothing. I'm moving. I'm coming up to Denver in a couple weeks, so I'll be at your house, and I get a taste. Steve, he already said I could, so we're gonna do that on one of the things. So.
That's not easy.
Yeah. And so, but that's all I really got going on, is coming to Denver, hanging out with you, doing the gig conference, doing the the thing after the gig conference, and the thing after that, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Gig conference thing.
August 4th, 5th. You
Oh wait,
guys?
no, actually, we do have something going on with the Gig Wars app. Actually, we actually have I'm rolling out a new update probably first of next week, which introduces Team Wars, so you can compete one team against another team. And as the first official team war, we're actually going to do the Gig Wars official team versus the RiDESHARE Garage team. And so that's actually going to start next Friday.
So it's not all RiDESHARE though.
No, it's going to be food delivery, all that stuff, but it's just going to be one team versus another team.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, I know, because those guys I know those guys though, or 3 of them.
Yeah, Vinny and them.
And they only do RiDESHARE.
Yeah, it's just going to be one team versus another team.
Yeah.
So.
And Red sits in both those camps, so I don't know how she'll fit in.
But she's at Gig Wars. She's on the Gig Wars team.
She shouldn't be on either team.
No, she was
literally
the first person on the Gig Wars team. She has to be on it.
So you guys, John, what do you got going on?
Park videos.
And if you didn't see John's video, when was it?
About a week ago.
I love that video. When I was first watching, I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then John's singing. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, I put a lot of videos out. Oh no.
The one I shared with our group.
The one that used rapping or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a week
If
ago.
you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. It's good. It's on John's channel. But yeah, guys, we didn't even get to the chat tonight, and I saw there was a lot of chat going on in the beginning, probably because of the topic. So I'll have to go back and address some of this because I know the flying cars and everything else just right out of the gate. You know, the cocaine party at the White House, flying cars. I don't even remember what the next story was, but it was equally as bad. And we just kind of started off with these true but horror stories. So $300,000 gets you a vehicle that goes 25 miles an hour, but it can fly. And that's it, guys. That's a wrap. And thank you to our amazing panel. And thank you to everyone for joining us. And I'll be more on the chat next week for sure. I was going through these stories and I saw it getting way ahead of me. So until next week, be safe, earn smart.
And real quick, before we sign out, I know we ran over. And so if you haven't, go check out Dashing Grandpa's channel. He's live right now as well.
Yep. So. Absolutely. And give him a like. Even if you just do it, if you're going to bed or if you're working or whatever, go over, give him a like. And because I know he's been off for a couple weeks too. He hasn't been feeling well. So go check him out. And we will see you back here next week, guys. Peace.
Later.
Well, midnight headlight, blindly on the brain night, Steve Grade up ahead.